Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video, we are looking at Oracle. It is time for another update. And we have had a pretty nice movement over the last couple of days, a nice recovery from the lower boundaries of our area of support that makes us question whether a bottom would in fact be in place currently. So today we will be tracking the levels of support we would need to hold to be able to build a more reliable pattern within a smaller time frame, the levels of resistance to watch out for, the levels of resistance we need to break for a stronger signal that we will actually not get an extension to lower prices, and the understanding of the overall structure we are within currently. But before we do that, let's go through the large time frame to provide the context of what we are tracking on this chart. So we start here on the weekly, where we have this larger ending diagonal information. What has happened in the structure prior to the 2002 low doesn't really affect the pattern we are tracking internally. We have here a wave 1 up, we have a wave 2 down, and now we would be supposedly within the later stages of a wave 3. It is possible to see even further extensions within the wave 3 afterwards, but this is what I would consider necessary to have a full count within this pattern, which is to actually have a complete A, B, C structure. Within this wave C, we would be tracking an ending diagonal, and within this ending diagonal, we would have a wave 1, 2, and 3 in place, and we can start considering whether the wave 4 has also formed a bottom and the wave 5 has started, that is expected to take us to new all-time highs before having a full count for what could be a pretty substantial top. Now, in this structure, we do not know yet if the bottom is in place. We are still looking to hold the area of support down to $118, and we are looking to form the reversal, the extension to new all-time highs within the wave 5 against this level of support, the 61.8% retracement. So we need to focus on the smaller time frame. We need to identify in this structure if we have a complete pattern, firstly within a wave 4. So for that, we are tracking the white interpretation, where we have actually extended to new lows in this latest structure we have been tracking as a wave 5. We have actually formed a lower low in this pattern, although it's not a very convincing one. We have highlighted already that we would have liked to have the ideal target around the $120, $121 level. I do not remember exactly. And we didn't get there, have we? Now, before we get into the smaller time frame, I also wanted to highlight that regardless of getting this extension to lower prices, especially since it is so unconvincing, we do have to still consider the possibility of the orange structure, where nothing has really changed. We can still consider this to have been a wave A bottom. We can consider all of this to have been part of the wave B, and the wave B to still be ongoing within a larger A, B, C structure that could take us into the area of resistance between $193.6 up to $283. Now, this is not necessarily my preferred interpretation, and I will be tracking the internal structure to get a better idea of what we can expect regardless. So we have in this white structure, in this wave C, the idea of an ending diagonal to be in formation. Within this ending diagonal, we have been looking to build an A, B, C pattern within this wave 5. And we did highlight in the previous video that since we have fulfilled the minimum expectations for a wave B in this structure, we could have already started looking for the wave C. We have identified 3 waves to the downside, where in the wave C we would expect a 5-wave pattern, but we did also mention that we do not necessarily need to extend as low as the ideal target, because the wave 5 could form a bottom within this region once we would complete a wave 4 and a wave 5. And we have been tracking the levels of resistance for the wave 4, and we would have preferred to extend to lower prices against the 50% retracement. We have even pushed into it on Friday, we have gotten rejected even, but now we have gotten a sustained break, and we did highlight that above $140, getting the sustained break above the 50% retracement we would have the indication that this wave 5 would not happen anymore, yeah, this last extension to lower prices. Now, it wasn't necessarily included that we will get such a strong breakout once we get through this area of resistance, but this has happened, it cannot be taken back. We have to consider this into what we will track in the future for this chart. So what do I do when I see such incomplete patterns within our corrections? Well, firstly, I have to mind the time frame, because given other circumstances like a much more established time frame, I would need to probably look for different structures, and we will do that here as well. But in such a time frame, I also need to consider the possibility of a distortion, the possibility of a simple failure to actually get that last low. Possibly, we may even need to consider that the wave C had actually completed a 5-wave pattern, that we had something like a 1, 2, 3, and this would have been a 4 and a 5. Yeah, a tiny built-in wave 5 basically, where we didn't extend within the ideal pattern in a wave 4, we didn't form a clear wave 5, but these do happen, and especially within such small time frames. We cannot rule out such a possibility. That is why we do not need to wait for the perfect bottom, for the perfect count, the perfect structure before considering a position. Now, we can remove this internal count, it's no longer relevant, and we have two options basically. We could consider this to have been part of the wave A even. Yeah, this could have been a leading diagonal. The wave B could still be ongoing, but given that we have nearly taken out the beginning of the wave A, I wouldn't have too much faith in this structure. Sure, I will still wait before giving any confirmation that a bottom is in place. I will not rule out the possibility of this being a larger ABC pattern even, but I will be looking for the reversal. I will be looking for the continuation to higher prices, and I will be treating this reversal to higher prices as if the wave 4 had actually bottomed, and we are looking for the initial 5-wave move to the upside if we happen to get it, if we happen to receive such a confirmation, given that we are looking for an ABC pattern within the wave 5 and that an initial 5-wave move to the upside is not actually necessary. Now, I have actually noticed within the smaller time frame that this may have worked out as an initial 5-wave move to the upside, but it wouldn't have been too reliable of a pattern now, would it? So, it seems we have broken above the area of resistance that we had for this as a wave B. It seems we would likely be taking out the previous wave 4 swing high. What other options do we have in terms of resistance? And we will be covering the support as well in a moment here. Well, I could be looking instead for this wave 3 to have actually been extending all the way down here, right? I could be looking for a follow-up wave 4 and a wave 5 to still be happening in the case of this larger wave 4 in yellow. Now, how likely is that? Well, it's difficult to say at this point. It seems we have pushed into the 50% retracement in this wave B before getting rejected, and I would still need to see a sustained break above $176 for a stronger indication that we have actually bottomed. And let me even track this internal ABC pattern within a different color, let's say blue. As within the white structure, I want to track the larger resistance for the actual wave 4. Now, are any of these structures, of these ideas for an extension to lower prices ideal? I wouldn't consider them any better than the idea of having a bottom in place. I wouldn't consider it more likely than forming the actual wave 5. So, I will be watching internally the possibility of an impulse to be in formation in this structure from the current wave 4 in yellow. We will of course be tracking this in yellow. I would consider this to be a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down here, a wave 3 up. I will be looking for a wave 4 correction and a wave 5 to happen before starting a larger correction. So, if we manage to build such a structure, we would have a high probability trade setup, with the consideration that it is within a smaller time frame. It will not command the same confidence that such a structure would within, let's say, the 4-hour time frame, the daily time frame, the weekly time frame, but it is still something to consider, and especially given the context of where we would be within the larger structure. Yeah, pretty deep within a wave 4 in yellow, yeah, deep into the area of support. It does offset the missing confidence due to having this within a smaller time frame. So I would be looking for such a structure to follow through as a confirmation that a bottom would be in place. But for this, we would actually need to hold the 50% retracement. This is the last level of support for a wave 4 within the area of an impulse, which is what we are tracking currently. I would expect to reach the area of support, and I would expect to form a reversal into the wave 5 to actually have this confirmation in place before starting a larger wave 2 correction. Ultimately, this will be either a 1-2 setup or an A-B setup. In either case, I would be looking for a high probability trade setup given the overall structure we are currently within. So for a recap, we are still watching this area of resistance in blue. If we get back below the 78.6% retracement by the end of the day, let's say, it may still be interesting to track it, but ultimately I would need a break above the beginning of this wave A, which sits at $171.72 for the formal invalidation of this idea of an extension in an ABC structure. We have resistance in a potential larger wave 4 up to $176, but none of these interpretations for extensions to lower prices provide high probabilities for continuation to lower prices. At least no better than the idea we are tracking in yellow, where we could consider that this would be the beginning of the wave 5, where we would be looking for an initial 5-wave move to the upside within the idea of an impulse. And for a brief mention, it is still possible, by the way, to extend within this wave 3. I wouldn't necessarily consider it necessary to have a top in place. In fact, if we extend higher before reaching the area of support, I would find it likely that it would still be within this as a wave 3, and I will be looking afterwards for a follow-up wave 4 and a wave 5 to extend to higher prices. This structure will need our close attention over the next period, and I'm interested in seeing how it develops. Overall, the strength from the last couple of days is quite promising, but there is no confirmation in either direction currently, and if you are in doubt, looking at the larger time frame, nothing has really changed. We are still deep within the area of support. Looking for a position within this area might still be interesting for some of us, and as long as we hold here $118, as long as we do not get a sustained break below the 61.8% retracement, we will still be looking to form a reversal within a wave 5 to new all-time highs. And for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and if you enjoy our content and want to support us directly, check out our channel membership. And as a thank you for any of these actions, I would like to invite you to sign up to our channel newsletter, where you get access to our monthly top picks, where we identify for you high quality structures. Other than that, let me know what else you would like me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I wish you a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.